everyone, this is the Focus Spender, and today I want to talk to you about what happened after my debt-free moment. What happened after I was able to scream, I'm debt-free! Because what people don't talk about once you're out of debt are the emotions you're going to feel once it's over. So before I get started, I want to just invite you to subscribe to my channel if you're new. My channel is all about getting out of debt and staying out of debt, managing and organizing your finances, and increasing your net worth. So let's get started. So in about 2010, 2011, I was able to get rid of $65,000 worth of student loan debt. I followed the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover system, and to get out of debt, I used the debt snowball method, meaning I organized my debt from the smallest to the largest, and I just started paying them off in that order. And as I knocked off one debt, the money that I was using for that debt went to the next debt. So by the time I was paying off the largest student loan that I had a snowball of money. So let's say the bill for that loan was $500 a month. I was using all of my excess cash to pay that bill off. So there would be times where I would pay $1,000. Sometimes I would have enough to pay $2,000 in a month just to get rid of that debt. Now, once I finished paying off my debt, the first thing I wanted to do was to fully fund my emergency fund with about 6 months worth of expenses, or the value of 6 months worth of expenses. So I wanted to fund it at $7,500, and I think it took me about 5 to 6 months, actually like 4 to 5 months, to fund it at $7,500. At that point, I increased my retirement savings to 15%. I funded my IRA at $5,500, and then I figured out how much more money I needed to fund my 401k at in order to get to a full 15% of my pre-tax of my money into my retirement account. So I think it was about 7% that I needed to do, and that's what I funded my retirement account at to get to the full 15%. Now, while I was in debt, the one thing I wanted to do was to make sure I bought myself a present once I was out of debt. And what I wanted, so vain, but what I wanted forever was a Louis Vuitton bag. I would see girls with Louis Vuitton bags. I would see girls with Gucci bags, but I would really see the girls with like the big Louis bag. And I was like, I really, really want that bag. And so it took me a while. I don't know, I just couldn't bring myself to spend that much money that fast after getting out of debt. So several months after I was debt free, I had a Macy's gift card that I got from my friends. I think I asked my boyfriend for one. I might have asked my father for one. I just asked people for gift cards from Macy's for my birthday. I had some points that I used to redeem for a gift card. And I went to Macy's and I went to the Louis section and I bought the entry-level handbag. And I rocked the mess out of that bag to the point where it doesn't even look nice anymore because it's so dirty, because I used to wear it all the time. But it's funny, like when I was in debt, I thought, okay, when I'm out of debt, I'm going to have all the fabulous fashions. I'm going to have expensive handbags. I'm going to buy nice clothes. I'm going to do all these things. And then I got out of debt and I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. Why in the world am I going to spend so much money on things? Like, I like to shop. Everybody that knows me in real life knows that I like to wear nice clothes, but I don't like to spend a lot of money on nice clothes. So it's like, I'm not just going to go out and just buy everything just because I have excess money to do it. So that, I'll just clear that up right now. So, okay, so like I said, I fully funded my retirement account and my emergency fund. So after that, I was like, okay, what else should I do with my money? And I thought, okay, let me set up some sinking funds. I can link the video I've done on sinking funds below, but I was like, okay, let me set up some sinking funds so that all of the money that I have isn't just sitting in my checking account. So then I did that. I had started saving money for like gifts and for vacations and other things, but then I still found that I had excess money. It's so funny, like before, like when you're in debt, you don't have enough money to do anything. And when you're fully out of debt, it's like, what am I going to do with all this money? And it wasn't even like I had some crazy salary. I I probably was making $70,000 a year. I was not rolling in dough, but I did not have a lot of expenses. So what did I do? I decided, okay, I'm going to join the gym. And not only am I going to join the gym, I'm going to pay for a trainer. And with the gym membership and the trainer, I was probably spending about $300 a month. And at the time, it seemed like a smart move. I think it wasn't a bad move. I think I should have just capped it at a certain amount of time. I shouldn't have just been like, oh, I'm just going to have a trainer for whatever. Like, I wasn't even training for a purpose. I wasn't trying to lose weight. I wasn't going on some international vacation where I had to look like, hot mama. I just was like, oh, I have extra money and I can afford a trainer. So I'm going to use this trainer. And for about 2 years, I worked out with my trainer. He was cool. But at some point I was like, this doesn't actually make any sense, because the only time you're going to the gym is to meet with your trainer. You're not doing anything on your own. And at the end of the day, after 2 years, everything that he's taught you, you should be able to do on your own, because literally it was almost like I was paying him to be my babysitter at the gym. Like, okay, I'm here, make me work out. So I realized, okay, enough is enough. This doesn't make any sense. You need to stop this. So cut it out. And then I had, my excess, that extra $300 back again in my life. Now, the one thing I want to say about getting out of debt, and I didn't know how to say this to myself. Like, I knew something was off, but I didn't realize other people felt this way. But I've seen videos where people have said the same thing. When you're paying off debt, especially in such an aggressive manner, it's almost like a high where all you can do every month, all you're focused on is paying off, like getting large sums of money and paying off this debt. Like, ooh, I'm throwing all this money, And you feel this great sense of accomplishment that when it's over, you don't know what to do with yourself. It's like, what do I do now? Like, it's almost like a loss. It's weird to say that you miss paying off the debt, but it's like you miss like having something to strive for, having something to achieve, that you don't even know what to do with yourself anymore. And I kind of felt that way. So after I stopped with my trainer, and actually before I stopped with my trainer, like I said, I had my sinking funds, but at some point I realized I needed to focus on something. And I was like, okay, I'm not saving up for anything special. So let me just create a someday account. And this is the money that I'm going to use whenever I buy a house, whenever I buy a car, whenever I need to make a large purchase, I'm going to have this money there. So every month, every time I got paid, I put $500 into that account. And so that account grew very, very quickly. And at some point, I was either on YouTube or I was on someone's blog, and this guy wrote about how he increased his net worth. Probably either he doubled his net worth or he increased it to 100,000 within like a year or 2 years or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute, that's what I should be doing. Now that I'm out of debt, I really should be focusing on increasing my net worth. It's not just enough to be out of debt. And I shouldn't be passive about it. Like, I really need to be aggressive. The same way I was aggressive about getting out of debt, I needed to be aggressive about increasing my net worth. And that's when I started to do some shuffling around. I believe I had already opened up a Betterment.com account, but that's when I was like, you know what? I really need to start funding this account. And then I thought, okay, all of this excess money that I don't know what to do with, that needs to be going into investing. And so that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And like I said, just like being an aggressive investor and investing wisely, where I'm using like a professional as opposed to me just picking stocks willy-nilly to help me invest, has helped immensely. Like, my money is growing at an exponential rate. And I actually feel like I'm doing something really positive for myself as opposed to just letting the money sit. So there you have it. That's my experience with being debt free. I wouldn't trade this experience for the world. I mean, for a few years I had to sacrifice. I couldn't like travel the way I wanted to. I couldn't do a lot of things the way I wanted to, but it was worth it. It was so worth it, because now money is not like, money is not like something I stress about. Obviously, I'm human. I always want my salary to increase. I always want my investments to go up, but I no longer have to think, oh my God, if I spend $100 on this item, am I going to have money to do X, Y, and Z? And so that's why I really encourage everyone that follows me to like hustle, get out of debt, and do things that are going to increase your net worth. Invest, buy real estate, whatever it is. Take on a side, like start a business, whatever it is. Just do it so that you can like really, you can live the life that you really want to have, and have the life that you want for your children, for your family, for yourself, whatever. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please be sure to click like. If you have any comments or questions, please list them below. You can also find me on Instagram at Focus Spender and on Twitter at Focus Spender. Thanks. Bye-bye.